Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be with you, and thanks to the organizers for this invitation. And also thanks for prohibiting PowerPoints. I don't know about you, but I have found this format particularly wonderful to engage us all in creative thinking. I am from Anchorage. Anchorage, Alaska is the sister city of Tromsø, Norway. And I'm happy to say that the mayor of Tromsø, Kristen Ramo, and the mayor of Anchorage, Ethan Berkowitz, share a view of the Arctic as a frontier for innovation, and at the local level are taking many steps in the direction to build their cities into smart cities. As a former mayor myself, I would just say that I believe in local power. I believe in the opportunity at the local level to bring people together to see not only what the challenges are, what the opportunities are, but what the consequences of non-action are. The young man who asked the question at the very end of the session right before lunch, who said, yes, you tell us that climate change is a problem, but unless you also tell us what the consequences are and what the implications are, it's hard to get action. That is what is possible at the local level when you can bring together business, local leaders, community, indigenous people, universities, and educators to see what is possible, to accommodate the changes that are headed our way. Change. It can be very scary. My grandmother had a phrase. She said, "The only person who really likes a change is a baby with a wet diaper." I don't know how that translates actually in other languages, but the point here is that even though change is inevitable, it is something that we humans resist dramatically at our own peril. And particularly living in an era where change, environmental, socioeconomic, geopolitical, etc., is so resoundingly a powerful force that we can't ignore. It's important for us to really focus on where can smart societies, smart business, smart government happen. I don't mean to say that national policies aren't important. And if you're living in a country like Norway, you can see what that does in terms of providing certain triggers to better investment and change. But if you don't, if you aren't, or at least not right now, it's really important to focus on what is possible at the local level, finding the business, university, and government opportunities. So let me just say that for many of us, imagining the future is really hard, but there are a number of efforts underway, both in Alaska and in other places, to do scenario planning that allow people to imagine what futures can look like based on steps that are made, decisions that are made today. And I would say that that is what builds the political foundation for the kind of decisions that need to be made to get to smart societies. One of the things that we've discovered, for example, in Alaska is because of the extraordinary amount of change happening with climate change, thawing permafrost, coastal erosion, etc., that it's really important for us to change the way in which we do planning, designing, engineering, and construction. So the University of Alaska, both Anchorage and Fairbanks, are partnering with the engineering community to develop new tools to use the climate science downscaled to appropriate scale where decisions get made, with the engineering community and the engineering expertise to make sure that the buildings and the ports and the airports and everything else that are being built will be built differently, because we know today doesn't look like yesterday and tomorrow is not going to look like today. So getting the engineering and designing and construction right is critically important, and yet there are many institutional barriers to making those changes happen, even within the engineering and building community. We need to change that if we want smart societies. So I'm almost out of time. I just want to say that for purposes of envisioning the future that we hope for, creating opportunities for a shared vision of the future that we hope for and that we need to build toward is a very different paradigm than the way in which decisions are often made in political institutions. So I would urge all of you whether you are in government or in business or in the nonprofit world or in indigenous representatives and leaders, to help us think through new and better ways to create this opportunity to vision the future and to take away some of the fear of the change that is truly inevitable. Thank you very much.